You're listening to MuniCast, the podcast that discusses municipal leadership. Season 6 of MuniCast is brought to you by SaskTel's Innovation and Collaboration team. SaskTel can help you sort through the noise to create solutions that add value quickly. Whether it's reducing your environmental footprint, driving investment, community development, or just saving money, contact your SaskTel account manager to find out more. MuniCast is brought to you by SUMA, the voice of Saskatchewan's hometowns. Each season discusses unique perspectives on local governance that includes conversations with both individuals and organizations. Past episodes have explored the core principles and challenges that municipal leaders face, delved into the valuable lessons from seasoned officials, and examined the approaches municipal governments can consider in addressing issues that involve all levels of government, such as mental health and addictions and truth and reconciliation. In Season 6, we will be exploring the heart of SUMA. Join us as we roll up our sleeves and chat with our amazing team members about what they do every day and how it plays a vital role in helping Saskatchewan's hometowns thrive. Get ready for engaging discussions that showcase how our work profoundly influences municipalities. For our first episode, I'm pleased to welcome Jean-Marc Nadeau, CEO of SUMA. Jean-Marc joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 1991 and has a 22-year history of policing experience spanning 5 provinces and 7 detachments. In 2012, he became the city manager for the City of Possibilities in Portage-la Prairie, Manitoba. Jean-Marc is a Doctor of Philosophy candidate whose research focuses on institutional change in the public sector. He holds a Master of Business Administration from the University of Ottawa, a certificate in Manitoba Municipal Management from the University of Manitoba, and a Master of Laws from Osgoode Hall Law School. In 2016, he was elected to the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators Board of Directors as the regional representative for Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Nunavut, and remained in this position until his appointment to SUMA in 2017. Welcome, Jean-Marc. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, me too. On this season of MuniCast, we are excited to introduce listeners to SUMA's staff and explore the ways that our work can support municipalities. As the CEO of SUMA, what are some key things that you keep in mind when directing the organization so that we can best support urban municipal leaders and administration?
Well, that's a good question. Quite frankly, we represent about 440 urban municipalities in Saskatchewan. And so a lot of our advocacy comes from conversing with the membership, with the different elected officials and the administration, and, really delving into some of their issues at the local level. We tabulate, we bring all that together, and we provide we develop the advocacy strategies that we have in front of us.
So how does the board of directors fit into that guidance of SUMA's direction?
So the board of directors, which is a large board for a modern not-for-profit organization like SUMA, they set the strategic direction of the organization, and it's up to me as their sole employee, but the staff in general, to roll out that strategy or that strategic direction. Once the board has established where they'd like to go within that election cycle, which is usually 4 years, then we internally with my colleagues, we sit down and we really develop sort of the where the rubber meets the road, right? Where the initiatives, where the work gets done to support that strategic direction. So that's really how we support the board and ultimately the membership.
So SUMA also does a lot of work with other municipal organizations throughout the country, including the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. How do you guide the work that happens among these different organizations, and what do those partnerships look like?
Those are very valuable partnerships. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I was invited to present our municipal revenue sharing program from Saskatchewan to the Municipal Association in New Brunswick. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to travel. I would have loved to be able to be in the room and talk with the elected officials in New Brunswick. But I was able to bring sort of a best practice in the municipal sector in Canada, in Saskatchewan, with our municipal revenue sharing. And I've benefited as a CEO of the organization from this network at the national level with other municipal associations. So it's really about having a solid network of like-minded individuals that work in the sector, and we share best practices, challenges, pitfalls, try to come up with some strategies that have worked in other parts of the country. Ontario's a big leader because of the size of the association. I learned a lot from my colleague Brian, but also smaller associations in British Columbia or the Northwest Territories. So it's all about that ability to share. FCM does a really good job on the national scene, and really they're the voice of the municipal sector across the country with the federal government. We do have our own advocacy at the federal level on the Hill once a year, but really we rely on FCM to drive that on our behalf. And Randy Golden, our president, currently sits as an affiliate member on the board of directors of FCM. So we have a direct link into the organization, and we get to bring our issues forward through them to the federal government. So it's really good.
Yeah, those are really great connections to have, especially when you're looking at different issues that may be countrywide, but maybe not every municipality within Saskatchewan is seeing the same thing. It's good to have those other contacts and connections. What methods have you found useful for engaging with urban municipalities within Saskatchewan?
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, our board of directors is a fairly large one. We have regional representation on the board as well as sectoral representation. So the VPs are elected by the sector. The regional directors are elected by the different regions. That really is the first point of contact for the membership. So if I'm the mayor of the village of Torquay in the southeast, then I have the ability to contact my village representative, which is Mike Strachan, or the regional director, which is Pat Jackson. We also have regional meetings every year. The team and I and the executive will travel the province and attend 7 different regional meetings around the province and meet with the membership right in their backyard. So we get to hear their issues, get to hear their concerns, and either together come up with some solutions, or that informs our advocacy moving forward. We also have sector meetings. Usually in January, we'll host a sector meeting with villages and the towns, and we've added actually last year the cities. We now host a sector meeting for the cities. We give an update of where we're at with the advocacy and the files that we've moved forward and those that are still being developed. But we also hear from the membership as to what the future and some of the current issues that they're facing. So we're constantly evolving our advocacy strategy. In 1905, when the organization was founded, elected officials got together once a year, right? Because they travel long distances by, I'll say, horse and buggy or train. Today, with technology, with broadband, with cell phone coverage, if you're not on top of an issue within a few hours or at worst a few days, you're really behind the 8 ball. So, we constantly evolve our strategy, and I think we're getting a lot of traction at the provincial level, and that's in no small part by the work that our colleagues do here at SUMA.
Across the province, SaskTel is engaged with many different municipal organizations who seek to innovate. Contact your SaskTel account manager to learn more about some of these initiatives and how they can help your municipality today. When some of those meeting opportunities that you mentioned, like the regional meetings and the sector meetings, they are great opportunities for us to connect with members, for members to connect with each other, and to connect with SUMA. And one of my favorite parts of those meetings is the Hometown Proud and the open forum discussions, because we get to hear in the moment what are the things that are exciting and what are the challenges.
Absolutely. And listen, it's always encouraging and positive to listen to the passion our municipal elected officials have in the sector. I mean, there's 4,400 elected officials in Saskatchewan, so it'd be easy for somebody to sort of get lost in that large number. You're right, with the Hometown Proud, it gives them a chance to share. And quite frankly, I've learned with some of those stories that have informed how we move forward with our advocacy strategies, or use that as examples when we're sitting in front of the Minister of Government Relations or Health at the provincial level. So it's very important to have to allow our members the ability to share their stories locally. And I, when I started in 2017, although I had been coming to Saskatchewan for 25 years, my wife's from Swift Current, I didn't really understand the geography of the province. I would land in Regina, coming in from wherever my job happened to be at the time, and we would drive number one highway to Swift Current and number one highway back to Regina. We didn't really travel a whole lot around the province. So when I landed here in 2017 with SUMA, I really wanted to get a sense of the geography. And to date, although COVID put a big damper on that, I actually managed to visit about 150 communities around the province. And now that, we're sort of out of the COVID and bigger files are kind of behind us now, I want to renew that, because I think it's important to be able to sit down with the membership in their backyard, like literally at their town hall or their village office, and listen to them. Because they come to convention, there's 1,000 people in the room. They come to regional meetings, yes, it's smaller, but it's still 100, potentially 100 people. The ability to sit down with the mayor or the CAO of the community and really have a good understanding of what's happening in Nipawin or what's happening in Nakim, so much different, although they're very close to each other. So those are the additional sort of programs that I've put in place to really get a sense of our membership, and that's what we are, right? We're a member-driven organization, and the advocacy, although we're quite informed at the office of how the realities on the ground, to get a reality check is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot different actually getting out there and seeing it firsthand rather than just hearing the feedback from others.
That's right.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here with the last question that I have. So you take what you've heard from municipal leaders and reflect that into input into programs such as that with the Saskatchewan Polytechnic and that at the U of R. How do you take what you've heard and provide that input? What does that look like for you?
Of course, I come at it from a bit of experience, having been myself a city manager, albeit in a different province, and with my leasing background, I've operated in the municipal sector for many years, and so I really understand, the challenges that CAOs have with their day-to-day operations. So, but when I first, again, started traveling around the province in the early days of my time here at SUMA, it became apparent that there was an opportunity for additional training and additional, I don't want to say academic growth, but some more education opportunities for CAOs. I reached out to, of course, U of R has a program, which is a good program for sort of mid-career individuals that come from a sector that have been used to supervising, a workforce or managing budgets and so on. But to transition into the municipal sector, the U of R program is very good for that. We're missing a whole cohort of people that don't necessarily want to move out of their community, and but to become a CAO, I mean, you need some training. You need some skills and some abilities and some acumens to be able to do the job. So I reached out to Sask Poly School, specifically the School of Business, and discussed with the dean as to, would there be some opportunity to develop a program, and there was, obviously. We're using the 2-year business degree that Sask Poly offers, and the first year everybody goes through the same program, and then the second year they specialize in municipal management. They come out with a business certificate from Sask Poly with a specialization in municipal management. How did that all come about? Really, it's through the partnerships that we have here with the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities, with UMass, the Urban Administrators, and an RMAA government relations. But I also brought in CAMA, the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators, because I came from Manitoba. The same challenges exist there as they exist here in Saskatchewan, and I know they exist in other parts of the country. So CAMA will be able to drive the program in different parts of the country, and it's cool to have a school in Saskatchewan deliver the program. And so that's really how this program sort of came to be. We've put together a small group of experts, mainly from UMass and RMA, to help Sask Poly develop the program. Lo and behold, CAO decided to go in a different direction, Chris Costley, who was hired by Sask Poly. And Chris is actually developing a lot of those courses. So what better opportunity than to have a former CAO who ran both an RM and an urban to develop this program. So I'm really excited about it. The program launched last September. We already have 5 students in the program, and we're going to continue promoting it. We're hoping that it will lead to many new CAOs coming out of the program for our smaller communities that, they have a hard time recruiting. Maybe a young 20-some-year-old can, be attracted by this field. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I really like about that program too is it is offered virtually, so people don't have to leave their communities if they want to partake in it. That brings me to the end of my questions for today. Do you have any other comments that you would like to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, we at SUMA have a very small, lean, but powerful machine. We'll be speaking to a few of our colleagues as part of this season of MuniCast. I'm very, very proud of the work you do, Stephanie, but that everybody does in the organization. Earlier today, we got a request from a partner for a statement to go out in a news release. Within 20 minutes, we have the statement, and it was done. It was ready. That's the strength of our organization, is that my teammates are extremely skilled in what they do, and we punch way above our weight class when it comes to the work that we do. And it's being recognized not only here in Saskatchewan and within our membership, but across the country. Like I said, I was invited to speak at the New Brunswick Municipal Association. That's supported by the people that work here, and I'm very proud of that, and I know the membership will be as well once they get to know everybody around the office. So, lastly, we're in Regina. We're on Parliament Avenue. Our office is always open. If you're ever in Regina and you're wanting to come and see us, doors are always open. Come and visit us at the office, at the SUMA office.
This brings us to the end of another episode of MuniCast. I look forward to welcoming Jean-Marc back for the rest of Season 6 to interview SUMA staff and provide listeners with a behind-the-scenes look into SUMA.